Hey guys, Crackshot47 here. Today we're going to revisit the PC9 Carbine, which we ran head-to-head against its predecessor, the PC Carbine. The PC9 Carbine, actually. This is the PC Carbine. We're going to run this head-to-head with the 1022. This is in 22 caliber, long rifle. This is in 9mm parabellum. So we'll talk about some of the differences, similarities, and also use cases. So we're going to consider two things here. It's not really a competition by any means, it's more of a comparison. So ammo capacity, one, that's a big one, and stopping power. 9mm is going to have a lot more stopping power than the 1022. 1022, however, you can carry more ammo. I'll make note of this now. These are both takedown rifles. They take down roughly the same, but I'll show you in this video how to take both of these rifles down. So, talking about ammo capacity, we'll start there because that's a really big consideration. Last time we did the video, this was configured for SR9 mags. Now it is configured for Glock mags, so it's a lot easier to get Glock mags, obviously, and they make the 33 rounders, so that's quite nice. This is an SGM tactical mag, although, you know, for the purposes of this video, it stands in for a factory Glock mag. This is a factory Glock mag, 16 shot or 17 shots, so Glock 17 mag. What are my initial thoughts on these guns? Well, let's talk about the ability to carry more ammo and the advantages that gives you in a gunfight. So the BX-25 mags hold 25 rounds roughly. 33 round Glock mags will work in this gun, so you can carry technically more ammo in a magazine with the PC Carbine. However, 22 is a lot lighter. The BX-25 mags are light, they're relatively cheap, they're plentiful. If we're talking price, I mean, these aren't really comparable. I mean, maybe the SGM mags are comparable, but the actual Glock magazines, you can buy two of these for the price of one factory Glock mag, and those do run the most reliably. So in terms of having a reliable magazine, 1022 has an edge there because it has a high cap, reliable magazine that's cheap, plentiful, and readily available. Like I said, you can break it down, put it into a backpack, and carry a whole bunch of these things on your person and in a container, and really not have it weigh you down all that much. You'll definitely be able to carry more 22 than 9mm. That said, it all depends on the situation. What do you need these weapons for? What is the use case for these weapons? Well, 1022 is a good planker at the range, of course, but it's also very good for small game. It can work against medium-sized game if you really need it to. So you hit it in vital parts, head, chest, vital organs. 22 is viable for medium-sized game, but especially small-sized game, and that is where this gun really shines. You shoot a rabbit with a 9mm, it's going to blow the rabbit apart. You're not going to get much meat off those bones. So the 1022 has an advantage when it comes to small game, rabbits, squirrels. This thing, yeah, it's just basically paste on the ground, right? So yeah, I would say the 1022 is better for small game. This is better for medium-sized game. I wouldn't use either of these against large game. If you're in bear country, get yourself a 300 Win Mag. So as I said, both of these are takedown rifles. Now, the first thing you have to do, you have to lock the bolt. I'll show you on the PC9 Carbine here. Lock the bolt, and you turn. Well, first you have to push this little detent forward, and then turn it, in my case, away from me, and it comes right out. You'll notice there are the lugs that hold the barrel in place. And we're going to do the same thing with the 1022, and I will show you that it is basically the exact same process. Same kind of deal. Depress this button, same kind of lockup mechanism. Turn it away, and there it is. And then, as you'll notice, it's a lot smaller, a lot easier to pack away somewhere you need it. In terms of just manual of arms, very, very similar, although the 1022 utilizes kind of an AK style magazine release, whereas the magazine release on the PC Carbine is not something dissimilar from what an AR shooter would notice on the left-hand side of the receiver here. So it's easy to use, and the mags do drop free. With the BX-25, it's a little bit tighter, but you just grab onto the mag, you depress the magazine release, and oh, good. So putting it back together is a simple operation. You just basically reverse. And you got to make sure the lugs get in there nice and flush, and there it is. And you'll be able to drop your bolt. It's a little bit more finicky with the 1022. You actually have to hold the release there to actually get this. You have to actually depress the release again to get this to go forward. So basically it goes in just like that, and then like the PC9 carbine, depress this, make sure it lines up correctly, and the gun is back together again. There we go. So it's a little bit more finicky than with the PC9 carbine. So yeah. All right. So those are really the key differences between these two different platforms. If you want to talk about, you can split hairs and talk about the sights. I actually prefer the sights on the PC carbine a little bit more. It's got a peep sight, and they got a nice visible front post here. I do like the sights on the 1022 though. They're pretty useful because it's a takedown rifle. Comes with these flip-up sights, and yeah, it's pretty easy. You got a smaller bead out at the end, but the wings back here make it a lot easier to basically see, to basically line that up with the notch that's right in the middle here. It's actually quite useful. But yeah, if I had to pick my favorite, I'd probably pick the PC carbine in terms of the sights. But generally speaking, these guns, they work the same way. Safety is the exact same. It's a tank safety, not unlike what you would see, or not a tank safety, a trigger guard safety like you would see on like a Remington 870 shotgun. It's that kind of like crossbow safety, so it's quite nice. And that's pretty much it. I mean, these two rifles, as I said, different use cases, different advantages. You got a lot lighter package here, carry a lot more ammo, better for smaller game. This is better for medium-sized game, and in my opinion, personal defense. Another thing I want to mention too about these two different guns is a lot of this has to do with the fact that this came before, but this is a newer production gun. But there are some features on here that don't exist on the 1022. For instance, the charging handle here is actually reversible, so you can replace it and put it on this side here. So if you're a differently handed person, it will pretty much benefit you either way. That's quite nice. There is a lot more aggressive stippling on the fore end of the gun here and also on the grip than you would find on the 1022, at least on one of these like normally configured ones. So there's that. I mean, the stippling on here is quite nice. It's quite useful, but like I said, it's just a little bit different. Whatever floats your boat, basically. All right, guys. Another thing I wanted to mention about these guns is something to do with modularity. This gun is newer, so it's going to have some modular features that the 1022 doesn't. So the one major feature I wanted to mention is the charging handle. So it is reversible on either side. So if you're a differently handed person, this gun will suit your needs, either way. So that's quite nice. Generally the same length, but you will find more aggressive stippling on the PC carbine than you will find on the 1022, at least in its stock configuration. Now, funny story about this gun, and this is one of the reasons why I love the 1022. This gun actually got ran over by a minivan. Now, there was an optic on here. Stripped the optic off. This thing was entirely underneath tires. I mean, this thing was ran over, but held up, I mean, like a champ. I mean, the thing's built like a tank. These things are fantastic. I mean, I can't say without running this thing over with a truck whether or not the PC carbine will hold up just as well. But I have a feeling it's made by Ruger. It's based on the 1022, and I think it would probably hold up just fine. So these guns are built like tanks. Another modular feature I also wanted to mention before I forget. There is a provision, as I noted with the story I just told you. You can put a scope on here if you wanted to. I wouldn't try with this one anymore. I just leave it scopeless. But this is tapped for a scope, so you can put a scope on here. On this one, you have a pick rail, so it's a little bit easier to get an optic on there. You could put a red dot on there, you can put EOTech on there, you can put a scope on there if you so choose. So this is a little bit more modular in terms of what you can put on the rifle. But in either case, both serve as excellent platforms for mounting. This slightly more so because it's a newer gun. Oh, stock too, very, very comfortable. I love this butt pad on the gun. Very, very smooth stock, nice butt pad, and the length of pull is quite nice. Really fits in there, really fits in the shoulder well. 1022 fits pretty well too. Smaller gun, lighter gun. Not as nice of a butt pad. It just kind of has a standard plastic butt pad, but still nice nonetheless. Hey guys, I want to thank you for watching again. Let me know in the comments which of these guns you find to be the best in what situation? Like, what would you use the PC Carbine for versus the 1022? Which one do you like better? Like I said before, I think this is better for medium-sized game, but hey, you know what? Some people like a 22. So keep watching, guys. Keep giving me feedback. Give me great ideas for future content, because I'm always on the lookout for something interesting, and some things escape my sight. So that's really it, guys. And make sure you ding the bell, hit the subscribe button, and stay tuned for future videos. That's all. Crackshot 47 out.